Hi, I'm Melanie Adkins. I'm a child and educational psychologist. Today I've decided to talk about positive reframing. On Easter Sunday in 2007, I lost my grandmother. It was a really sad experience, and the fact that it happened on Easter Sunday means that every year a day that's possibly supposed to be something that you celebrate became something that was more of an anniversary of her dying. So I decided a few years later that I wanted to have a more positive feeling about what happened. So I decided to write a story. And the story is written for Phyllis May, who was my grandmother, and it's got lots of characters in the story that mean something to her and I. Positive reframing is a psychological strategy that enables you to think about something which would normally be negative or that you would experience as negative, and it enables you to reframe it in a more positive way. So the idea is that it challenges a negative feeling, which may be about an emotion, it may be about an idea or an event, and it leads you to think about it in a more positive way. I'm actually trying to use this situation at the moment in a way to positively reframe because I've wanted to do some recording for quite some time, but I've kept putting it off. So I've decided that actually I should practice what I preach. So by doing this recording, I am using the psychological reframing for what's happening at the moment in this lockdown situation. So thinking about positive reframing, it's about challenging the negative thoughts and a way of viewing something that could otherwise be negative in a more of an enabling or empowering way. So I'm going to share with you now, this story is called Oi, Get Out of My Bed. Now I haven't drawn the illustrations yet, so this means you can use your imagination to think about what the characters might look like. I know what they look like because the characters are based on real things that actually existed, and I have photographs of those, but I thought it'd be more fun for me to read you the story and for you to use your imagination to think about what those characters might look like. So the blurb for this story is when arriving at her new house, Mindy, the puppy, is given lots of new things: a new collar and lead, a new dog tag, new toys, new bowls, and best of all, a new bed of her own. Mindy loves to snuggle in her warm, cosy bed. However, so do all the other animals that live in the house. After feeling very cross with them, Mindy thinks of a way to make everyone happy. So in this story, the character Mindy also uses positive reframing to transform this negative experience she has into something more positive. You'll see what I mean when we get there. So this is written for Phyllis May with love. As Mindy, the puppy, arrived at her new house, the family gave her a new red collar and a shiny disc. It said Mindy in big letters. When she went inside the house, she found lots of new things: new toys, new bowls for food and water, and best of all, a new bed all of her own. The new bed was in the corner of the kitchen by the window. Mindy had never had her own bed before. At her old home, she had shared a bed with her mother and all the other puppies. There was not much room for anyone in that bed. Mindy looked at her new bed. There was lots of room for her to lie on her front or her back or even on her side. There was space for Mindy to play with her toys in her bed. Mindy's bed was big enough for her, and she felt happy in her new home. Mindy sat in her bed and thought. She rubbed her paws on the soft lining of the bottom and wagged her tail. Mindy's new bed felt warm and snug, and she fell onto her tummy with tiredness and rolled over. Mindy was so cosy, she soon fell asleep. As the days passed, the other animals and members of the family admired Mindy and her new bed. Mindy felt pleased and wagged her tail at everyone she saw. "Isn't she sweet?" the people said as they smiled down at her and patted her head. "And what a lovely, cosy bed for a little puppy," they said. And Mindy rolled over and they tickled her tummy. As Mindy became more settled in her new home, she began to leave her bed to look around her new house. One morning, after peeping out of the kitchen door, a tortoiseshell cat called Nina crept into Mindy's bed and laid down. Mindy's bed was so comfortable that Nina soon rolled over and fell asleep. When Mindy went back to her bed, she saw Nina. She felt unhappy and growled. Nina opened one eye and regarded Mindy. "Oi, get out of my bed," she barked. And with that, Nina got up and walked away. Mindy settled down in her bed, all snug and warm. On another day, Mindy played on the stairs all morning until she felt tired. She went back to her bed to rest, but to her surprise, she saw Sally, the old dog, snuggled in her bed. "Oi, get out of my bed," Mindy barked. Sally yawned and went across the kitchen to her own bed and went back to sleep. Mindy settled down in her bed, all snug and warm. One afternoon, after Mindy had been in the front garden lying by the chair, she came into the kitchen to get some sleep. As she went over to her bed, she saw Louie, a white cat, sprawled out in her bed. Mindy felt cross. "Oi, get out of my bed," she barked. Louie moved out of Mindy's bed quickly and up onto the chair. Mindy settled down in her bed, all snug and warm. On a sunny day, Mindy made her way up to the end of the garden and back again. She was very tired and ready for a nap. But who do you think she found when she went back to her bed? Jack, the house rabbit, asleep. Mindy was starting to feel very cross with the other animals. She tiptoed over to her bed and barked in Jack's ear. "Oi, get out of my bed!" Jack was surprised to see Mindy and jumped out of the bed. Mindy settled down in her bed, all snug and warm. One lazy morning, Mindy had been up in the bedroom, and when the lady brought her down to her bed, they found the little girl May had put her guinea pig Susie into the bed. As the lady put Mindy down, she ran over to her bed and barked at Susie. "Oi, get out of my bed!" The guinea pig looked scared, and May came over and lifted Susie out and took her away. Mindy settled down in her bed, all snug and warm. On a drizzly afternoon, Mindy had been out in the garden on her red lead. She had her paws wiped, ready to go into her bed. As she went over, Mindy saw May, the little girl, curled up in a tight ball and sleeping soundly. Even May's Ted was asleep in Mindy's bed. Mindy was so cross and unhappy, she yelped, "Oi, get out of my bed!" The little girl woke up and, taking her Ted with her, went upstairs to her own bed. Mindy settled down in her bed, all snug and warm. As Mindy lay in her bed, she began to think about all the family members who wanted to sleep in her bed. There had been Nina and Louie the cats, Sally the old dog, Jack and Susie the rabbit and guinea pig, and even May the little girl and her Ted. Mindy did not want to share her bed, and she wondered what to do. Then she had a good idea. "I will have a bed warming," she thought. "That way all the animals and May can enjoy the bed and at the same time keep it warm and snug for me." And the very next day, that is just what she did. And that's the end. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll share another of my stories soon. Thanks for listening.